Okay, folks, here we go. This favorite time of the year when it comes down to evaluating players for the upcoming NFL season. I'm your host, Barry Bonds of Locker-Report.com and Locker Talk Podcast. So make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube for this channel where you want to find out about NFL stars of tomorrow today. Yes, we're going to talk about the players to watch out for from our outlets, our overlooked unknown talents, players listing that we have on Locker-Report.com. And you guys go to the site, see some players on there who were mentioned heading into the 2024 NFL season. Some players I won't talk about only because I don't have no tape to really break it down to show you guys. But however, there are some players definitely want to highlight for this upcoming season. So check this out. We're going to get right into it, starting with our defensive backs. First player we're going to talk about is Shamar Bartholomew from Georgia Southern. This young man stands at 6'1", 200 pounds, a big defensive back. Played in 12 games last year, had 31 tackles and 26 were solo. He had 13 pass breakups, an interception, and 2 forced fumbles. Now, Shamar has good instinct, good anticipation. His leaping ability is incredible, pretty much second to none, the way how this young man gets into the air. Another thing that I like about him from studying him closely is that he does not quit on plays. He has good hands, good speed, very physical. He is a sound tackler. However, I would like to see Shamar to improve his pad level. Definitely want to get those pads down a little lower, so you make a good firm contact. This is what scouts is going to look at. And I think this is one of the things they have to add to his repertoire or his technique to be a more firm tackler on the next level. But he definitely has all the mechanics to help him get in front of scouts. I love the way how he used the sideline as an extra defender. He tracks the ball very well, very strong, and has good awareness. So Bartholomew, Shamar from Georgia Southern, definitely one of those players to watch out for. Big corners or something, or big defensive backs are definitely something that teams look at to see as they can be a good staple to make it even a little difficult for those big receivers that we do have in the National Football League. Okay, next player, Gavin Pringle from Georgia State, 5'11", 180 pounds. He too played in 12 games, but he had 37 tackles. 25 of those were solo. 4 of those tackles actually for loss, and he also had a sack, 4 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, and one of them he took to the house. Now, this young man, Pringle, is extremely active. Hands always moving, active hands. Have good speed, but his closing speed is what will actually help separate him from the pack. Solid closing speed. His eyes always, you just watch and monitor the way how this young man plays. His eyes is always on the quarterback. Very patient, rarely gives up the inside, which is something that the quarterbacks try to get, because if you give the inside up to a wide receiver, that's a no-no on the next level. You want to try to keep that receiver to the numbers or towards the out of bounds, to use that out of bounds as an extra defender. But he rarely gives up the inside, which is really good technique, sound technique from Mr. Pringle. Great feet with balance and control, a high IQ. I love his pad level, good solid pad level, fundamentally sound tackler, and he also can tell that he loves to give good run support, which he is very capable of doing. He makes good pursuit on the ball and the pass catcher. He can play the nickel, but he'll definitely excel in the back end as a free safety because of his solid awareness. This young man is like a magnet to the ball. He makes plays. Definitely watch out for Mr. Pringle going to the next level. So this young man have all what it takes to really show what he can do when he get in front of those scouts to really turn some heads for the next level. Another young man to watch out for is Tyler Gurman from Valparaiso, another big defensive back, 6'1", 185 pounds. Played in 11 games to close out his senior year. 44 tackles, 29 of those were solos. Had 17 pass breakups and an interception. Really shows that how quarterbacks was trying to go against him, but he was actually ready for the challenge, and it shows right there in the stats. This young man has a high motor, very physical, but I believe that he will definitely excel in man-to-man coverage. I mean, let's look at him. Bump and run is his forte. He definitely have an old school vibe to his game. Being one-on-one, mano a mano against that pass catcher is something that I know that Tyler definitely gravitates to. He actually does very, very good. I mean, exceptionally well as a solid run stopper. Really give good sound, run support. He loves contact, good technique, solid closing speed as well. Very instinctive, crafty, very intense, solid pad level, strong hands, and the best part, he gives good pursuit as he is not going to quit on anything that's on the field. If you have the ball in your hand, he's going to track you down to make sure you make a stop. So this young man here for Ronald Perezzo, so not known for their football at that school, but this young man may have an opportunity. If he get in front of scouts, can actually help change that notion about watching out for this school and see what they're going to have for the next level. Now, we're going to go right into my defensive fronts. Defensive fronts, these are pretty much your guys that play right on the line, your defensive tackles, your defensive ends, watching out for these guys to actually get to the quarterback. And the first guy we're going to talk about that does a pretty good job in getting to the quarterbacks, and I had my eye on this young man for the past couple of years, and I'm talking about this young man, Richard J. Barnier from Troy. 6'3", 230 pounds. 12 games he played last year in his senior year. 53 tackles, 29 of those were solo. 16 of those tackles were for loss, 9 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. This young man is completely explosive coming off the edge. Solid leverage, good inside and outside technique, very quick, especially with that first step. Very athletic, fast, always on high pursuit, not just following, but in high pursuit at all times. Strong with balance and control. He uses his length very, very well. Sometimes he commands double teams. Very active with his hands, always active around the ball. He's always trying to make a play. If it's not a stop or make a play, always active on the ball. For a defensive end, he has decent hands, and one of the things that helps him out is that he does a good job in dropping back into coverage. Another thing, again, getting to the quarterback. That's what you want your defensive front guys to do. He can get to the quarterback. He can make plays against the run. His lateral movement is very solid, and one of the things I like about him, he is very calculated. He's just not out there just running around, just chasing after the ball. He's actually not just chasing at the ball, but he's being calculated in how to get. He understands angles very, very well. And that's what you want your edge rushers to be able to do, to be able to know how to operate in those angles. And this is something that Richard does very, very well. Really looking forward to seeing this young man playing on the next level of football. Okay, here we go. It's Antoine June Kaiser, this young man from Albany University. 6'3", 273 pounds. 12 games he played. Pretty much his stats just like what we just got finished talking about with Richard, but out of the 53 tackles, 32 were solos, 20.5, let's say 20, let's make it round out to 21. 21 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 10 quarterback carries. This young man, if I can sum it up in just one word, relentless. Antoine is coming. If you get to the next level, Antoine is coming. No doubt about it. This young man is coming. He have a good combination of speed and power. Great hand usage. Several techniques that he actually is, I would say, profound on. Is very good at it. He's a pure bull rusher. He actually have a good bull rushing technique. His inside leverage is solid. He closes very well for his size. Good tackling technique. Instinctive, agile, make plays on the ball. That's what you want to see what your interior guys can do. Make plays on the ball, which is actually an added bonus. Quick first step. Situationally, his awareness is solid. He understands what's going on. His situational football is definitely a plus, especially trying to get to the next level. He have a strong hands, and when he get a hold of you, you ain't going nowhere. His grip is like vice grips. good strong grip, strong hands, good lateral movement with good balance and control, and he reads against those play actions very well. So this young man is not easy fooled. So watching those play actions is something that he adds to his skill set that make him a valuable piece for any team on the next level to watch out for. So definitely watch out for this young man, Anton, coming from Auburn University. Now, this young man who I'm really high on, really enjoy watching him, and really think that he could be a late draft pick. That's how talented this young man is, because he's pretty much solid across the board. And we're talking about Bill Shifford from Lafayette, 6'3". He played in 11 games, had 83 tackles, 53 of those were solo, and he had basically 21 and a half tackles for loss, 10 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and he was able to get to the quarterback 8 times to make those guys hurry with the ball out of his hand. This young man is versatile. He is what I consider today's NFL defensive talent. Yes, this young man had that talent to play on the next level, hands down. He's a hybrid. Good speed across the board, especially in closing. I don't want to say elite because they haven't played in the NFL yet. But this speed in closing is really good. Something to watch out for when this young man gets in front of scouts. Quick first step, great leverage. Pretty much always, for the most part, always the first one to make contact. Always one of the first ones to make contact. Fundamentally sound in his tackling and his containment skills. Solid lateral movement. When I'm talking about containment, keeping the players in front of him, making sure that the players don't break out or inside. Pretty much keep these guys in front so he can make a play and then calculate it on how to get the stop. Pretty much making the sideline be their last spot where they go to, help using that sideline as an extra defender. That's what this young man was able to do, and that's what I mean by containment. He has great feet, solid hand usage, supports the run very well, plays on the line and on the edge, and sometimes he plays off the line. I mean, they use this young man everywhere. He can actually split out to cover the slot receiver or underneath. This young man, Billy, is a student of the game, very calculated. He filled his gaps very well, and he can get penetration. His pad level is outstanding. Great pad level. And also another thing about a defensive player that you want as your quarterback out there is to communicate. He communicates very well. I love that part about his game. He's not easily fooled, very patient, and is instinctive. Very good as far as being an instinctive player. Definitely watch out for this man, Billy Shifford from Lafayette. Really think that he could be a late draft pick, but I would be surprised if he's not on somebody's roster going to the 24 season in the NFL. This young man clearly has what it takes. A.J. Simpson, another player from Albany, 6'1", 267 pounds. Played in 12 games, 50 stops, 34 of those were solo, 21 tackles for loss, 12.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, also 2 fumble recoveries, and got to the quarterback and rushed the quarterback 17 times. This young man, in one word, very aggressive. Yes, very aggressive, very intense. This young man can play inside and outside. He is very sound in his techniques. Talking about his grab and pull, his bull rush, his slides, his stunt, his arm bars. Very solid technique in the way how he uses his uses his body, as far as the leverage and his hands. Great hand usage. Light on his feet for his size. Being 6'1", 267 pounds. Very light on his feet. Good balance and control. And he bends and turns effortlessly. This young man can really move his body, very agile for his size. A good first step, and he have good body leverage. Very active, very strong, and one of the things that also stands out is that he will fight through double teams. He can handle double teams. He will shed his blocks very well, play on a high motor, very athletic, strong base, patient, but yet very disruptive. Definitely watch out for this young man from Auburn when I talk about A.J. Simpson. He definitely had what it takes. That if he get in front of scouts, so you gotta get in front of scouts, he will showcase what he can do with his strength and the way how he's able to move. That's another young man to definitely watch out for. And now we're going to get closer and closer and wrap everything up with our linebackers. Yes, you know your linebackers. They looked at towards being your quarterback of defense. You know, very rarely you just have, I would say, a linebacker that don't understand offensive concepts. These players are getting a lot smarter, and these players I'm about to name now are some guys to definitely watch out for going to the next level. Starting with Donovan Emmanuel from FIU, 6'1", 230 pounds, played in 12 games, had 121 tackles, and 68 of those were solos, 15 and a half tackles for loss, half a sack, and had 5 forced fumbles. In one word to describe this young man, and I'm going to use this in a positive way, he's very violent. Very violent. This young man, he is coming as well. He is going to bring the pain if he's on that field. Very explosive through his hips. Solid pad level. This young man knows how to get low and attacks with great form. Good base, good way how he have his head and his shoulders. Get that good base and then explode through his hips and take down the ball carrier. He tackles with power, has balance and control. He's what I call also a finisher. He can drop back to the second level for contact, strong hands, good lateral movement, very agile, elusive, and again, very intense. You can't be violent the way how he plays and not be intense. This young man is definitely someone to watch out for on the next level. Definitely watch out for Donovan Emmanuel from FIU, Florida International. Jason Johnson. It's almost like a common name, and I'm quite sure you can always find someone's name as Jason Johnson. But I'm sure that if this young man gets the opportunity to play on the next level, he'll pretty much separate his name, Jason Johnson, from a whole bunch of Jason Johnsons that's out here in the world. Here we go. Talking about Jason Johnson from Central Florida, 6'3", 225 pounds. All last season, 12 games, 101 tackles, 58 of those were solos, and had 3 sacks. In one word, this young man is a pure leader. Communicator. He always put his teammates in the right position to make the play on every down. He applies solid containment, pursuit, and pressure. That when you have someone that's having containment football, that yes, they keeping the player, the ball carrier in front of him, but as he's doing it, he's moving closer and closer and closer, where that ball carrier cannot move too much to try to get away from him until he closes him down. That's good technique, good sound football that Jason Johnson provides on the field. Fundamentally sound and a sure tackler. He have a good solid waist and leg wrap technique, solid pad level, gets low, calculated, especially when he's going high. So he's not just tackling or hitting without a purpose. When he comes in for a tackle, he know exactly. He actually stands up, watch what the ball carrier is going to do, and know how to make the right tackle for every situation. That's the part that helped Jason Johnson to stand out, at least in our evaluation and breakdown. Has good speed, especially in closing, and when he closes, he brings explosiveness to his closing. He drops back very well, supports the run very well, take on all blockers. A lot of times you'll see him blow up a blocker so that his teammate can make the play. That's another thing that he brings to the table as well. He studies the quarterbacks very well. He always has his eyes in the backfield. Very aggressive. He weaves through blockers to get penetration. Yes, he will take on blockers, but he have a way of moving his body around to avoid the blockers to get that penetration. He covers the field from sideline to sideline, very confident and calm, and never ever overwhelmed situationally. So situational football is his forte, where he excels a lot more as well. So this Jason Johnson from Central Florida, definitely watch out for this young man. I will consider him a late round draft pick, but I will be surprised again, just like one player we had mentioned with Bill Schaefer. I will be surprised if he's not on an NFL roster for the 2024 season. Daylon Kelly, another player from Albany. I don't know what Albany University is doing, but they're producing some good defensive players up at that school. But this young man, 6'2", 224 pounds, in 12 games, 148 tackles, 84 of those tackles were solo. 8.5 were tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and was able to get to the quarterback and Harris for 2 times. This young man, in one word, is very, very determined. He's focused, very headstrong, strong hands, solid anticipation, very fluent in his movement, and his with also goal coincides with his lateral movement from left to right. Solid pad level, good technique, fundamentally sound, a pure tackler, not just someone that's want to hit with their shoulders. But when this man comes, he is coming to wrap up. A pure tackler, good feet, decent hands, good speed, closes very well. Another player that know how to weave through the traffic, shed blocks very well, very strong, but yet disciplined. Always keep the plays in front of him. Applies this solid containment with pursuit and pressure, and also very intelligent when he and also not just his intelligence, but his intelligence matches up with his athleticism. So he's not out there just moving around trying to showcase what he can do athletically. Everything that he does is calculated, and it's a purpose. The way how he moves with his ability to be athletic, very patient, but yet very aggressive. So definitely Kelly from Auburn University. This is a young linebacker to watch out for the next level going to the 2024 season. And then to wrap up from Weber State, Winston Reed, 6'1", 235 pounds, played in the 11 games, 116 tackles, 68 of those were solo, 12 tackles for a loss, a sack and a half, an interception, and 7 quarterback carries. This young man, I would like to say, he's more of, a conflict defender. And what I mean by a conflict defender is that he understands the quarterback's mechanics to know where the ball is going to go before it's actually released. This is one of those things that this young man know how to do because he recognized the pass or the run a lot quicker. So he's what we consider one of those guys as a conflict defender. That's what he does best, and that helps him to stand out amongst the rest of the players that's heading to the 24 season, or at least trying to get to the NFL for the 2024 season. Solid speed, applies solid pressure containment, also good lateral movement, very confident, athletic, agile, plays sideline to sideline, gets penetration, a solid run stopper, communicates well with his team, helping his team get in the right position, very sound in his tackling, his hand usage, solid pad level, and as he explodes through his hips. And another thing, because of him, his ability to watch the quarterback to know if it's going to be a pass or a run before the ball is released. Clearly, this young man cannot be tricked. He's very hard to fool. He's never really off balance. He's always in control, always making sure that he is on every play to make every stop. So definitely watch out for Winston Reed from Weber State. Folks, there were other players, like I said, didn't really have a lot of film on some of the players, but go to locketdashport.com. See a couple other players to watch out for. It's not a lot. It's not a big list because trying to get into this place here, it is extremely difficult. And not everybody who you think is good enough to play on the next level can't. But thank God if they can't get to the NFL right away, thank goodness for the UFL and also the CFL, where these young men can home in on their talent, get some more tape to hopefully get to the next level to play in the NFL. Folks, this is my breakdown for the defense. Make sure you guys stay locked in and tuned for our offense. We're going to get into the offensive players to watch out for the 2024 NFL season. Everyone stay blessed. Make sure you guys wishing your football, and here we go.